You're lying in a hospital bed. Your back is killing you. You can't feel your left leg properly. And your supervisor is sitting next to you with a clipboard saying the 4 words that should terrify every offshore worker. We'll take care of you. If you heard this sentence after an offshore injury, you need to understand that what it really means. Because taking care of you isn't about your well-being. It's about protecting the company from a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. I'm Maritime injury attorney Matt Schaefer, and in this video, I'm going to explain why "we'll take care of you" is the most dangerous sentence you can hear after an offshore injury, and what you should do to actually protect yourself. Let me start with what "we'll take care of you" actually means in corporate speak. We'll pay you the absolute minimum required by law and hope you're too grateful or too scared to ask for more. Here's how it usually plays out. You're injured. The company's safety officer shows up at the hospital. He's sympathetic. He's concerned. He tells you not to worry about anything. The company will handle everything. Just focus on getting better. Then the paperwork starts. Workers' comp forms, incident reports that somehow make the accident sound like your fault. Medical releases that give them access to your entire medical history. Settlement offers that sound generous but are actually insulting. And through it all, they keep saying, "We're taking care of you. Trust us." But here's what they're really doing while they're taking care of you. They're building a defense against your claim. That incident report you sign in the hospital, it's not just documentation. It's evidence they'll use to argue the accident was your fault. Those statements you gave to the safety officer about what happened, they're looking for anything you said that could be used to blame you. The company doctor they sent you to, his job isn't to get you the best treatment. His job is to minimize your injury and get you back to work as quickly as possible. Every form they ask you to sign, every conversation they have with you, every favor they do for you, it's all designed to protect them from a Jones Act lawsuit. They're paying you just enough to keep you quiet. Let me tell you about Derek, an offshore worker who was seriously injured when a crane cable snapped. The company immediately started taking care of him. They paid him $900 a month in maintenance. They covered his medical bills through their company doctor. They called every week to check on him and see if he needed anything. Derek felt grateful. $900 a month was more than unemployment. The company was being good to him. He didn't want to seem ungrateful or by complaining or hiring a lawyer. What Derek didn't know that he was entitled to much, much more. His maintenance payments should have been at least $2,500 a month based on his actual living expenses. He had the right to choose his own doctor. And as a Jones Act seaman, he had the right to sue for negligence. When Derek finally came to my office 8 months later, we discovered that the cable that injured him had been reported as worn and dangerous 3 times over the previous 6 months. The company chose not to replace it to save money. That's gross negligence. Derek's case settled for $2.8 million. The company's idea of taking care of him was $900 a month. That was costing him almost $3 million. "We'll take care of you" is also a stalling tactic. While they're taking care of you, evidence is disappearing. Witnesses are forgetting details. Equipment is being repaired or replaced. Video footage being deleted. By the time you realize the company's idea of taking care of you isn't nearly enough, it's a much harder case to build. They know this. That's why they want to keep you in their "we're taking care of you" mindset as long as possible. They're hoping you'll accept a low-ball settlement. After a few months of taking care of you, they'll make you an offer. Maybe $150,000, maybe $300,000. They'll present it as generous. They'll remind you of everything they've done for you. They'll suggest that taking the money and moving on is a smart choice. What they won't tell you is that your case might be worth $2 million or $5 million or even more. They're counting on your gratitude and your ignorance to accept far less than you deserve. What taking care of you really costs you. Let me give you some real examples of what "we'll take care of you" has cost injured workers. First of all, I'd like to talk about a barge worker with a crushed leg. The company taking care of him meant a $700 a month maintenance check and medical care. That case settled for $1.6 million after he got his own lawyer. The company's care was costing him about $1.4 million. Next case is an oil rig worker with a traumatic brain injury. The company took care of him with workers' comp benefits totaling about $200,000. His Jones Act case settled for $4.8 million. The company's care was costing him $4.6 million. Then there's a tugboat deckhand with a back injury requiring fusion surgery. The company taking care of him for 18 months by paying the minimal maintenance and using their doctors. And that case ultimately settled for $2.2 million. During those 18 months of care, he was losing about $100,000 per month in potential settlement value. When someone says, we'll take care of you after an offshore injury, here's what you should do. Be polite, but don't commit to anything. Thank them for their concern, but don't sign anything beyond basic incident reports. Don't give recorded statements. They'll ask you for your side of the story. Tell them you need time to process what happened and you'll get back to them. Get your own medical care. You have the right to see your own doctors. Don't rely solely on company doctors. Document everything. Take photos of the accident scene if possible. Write down what happened while it's fresh in your memory. Get contact information for witnesses. Don't discuss fault. Don't speculate about what caused the accident. Don't apologize. Don't suggest that it might have been your fault. Understand your rights. If you work offshore, you probably have rights under the Jones Act that are worth significantly more than workers' comp. Talk to a maritime lawyer. Most personal injury lawyers don't understand the offshore injury cases. You need someone who specializes in maritime law. The bottom line is that we'll take care of you sounds caring and protective. But in the context of offshore injuries, it's usually a strategy to minimize a company's liability and maximize their control over your claim. Real care would look different. Real care would be telling you about all your legal options, including the Jones Act. Real care would be paying your proper maintenance amounts based on your actual living expenses. Real care would be encouraging you to get the best medical treatment available, not just treatment from the company doctors. Real care would be accepting responsibility when their negligence causes your injury and paying you fair compensation without a fight. But that's not what we'll take care of you means in corporate America. It means we'll do the absolute minimum while protecting ourselves from liability. The next time someone says, we'll take care of you after an offshore injury, remember Derek. Remember the $2.8 million he almost lost because he trusted the company to take care of him. Remember, their idea of care cost him almost $3 million. If you've been injured working offshore and someone has told you they'll take care of you, watch my other videos about the Jones Act and your rights as a maritime worker. Understanding your legal options is the first step to making sure you're actually taken care of. And if you want to know what your offshore injury case is really worth, not what the company thinks it's worth, but what it's actually worth under maritime law, there's a link in the description for a free consultation. We handle these cases nationwide. We only get paid if you win, and we'll give you an honest assessment based on our experience with thousands of similar cases. Don't let "we'll take care of you" cost you millions of dollars. Take care of yourself by understanding your rights.